hurricane in Florida, a war in Russia. There's so many things to be sad about. So I want to talk about something happy. And that's what we're going to do right after this. Hey, I'm Lucas Kitchen. Thanks for being with me. This is More to the Story. I'd like to encourage you to subscribe on whatever platform you happen to be watching or listening on. Now, I've got a question for you. What's a happy memory from your childhood? For me, it was the Happy Meal. Happy Meal. What a promise. I mean, think about it. What a promise. After all, what's the most discontent 25 minutes in America every day? Family mealtime. So, in the 70s, specifically 1979, the world changed. That's when the Happy Meal was introduced to parents. And everywhere, those same parents gasped in unbelief, saying things like, "Can a meal really be happy with the kids?" Generations since have flocked to the McDonald's of their choice for a piece of that impossible promise. Now, I don't know about you, but I remember getting a Happy Meal. Do you remember the experience? The experience was like pure joy. The incredible anticipation leading up to opening the box. The overawed sense of wonder at what toy you might receive once you got into that box. The unmeasurable disappointment when that mold-injected toy broke into its constituent parts 13 seconds into your gentle interaction with it. And then, of course, there was the playground. The playground at a McDonald's was an unpadded spire of iron amusement equipment with rusted bolts all mounted into an unforgiving concrete slab outside under the unrelenting nuclear Texas sun. Sweat, blood, and tears were part of the fun. We called it the concussion factory. Of course, play places have changed a little bit over the years and they're a little bit more safe, but still, man, that was happiness. Ever think about this? One day, you ordered a Happy Meal for the very last time, and you didn't even know it. That's a direct quote from the McDonald's Facebook page. And I'd just like to say thanks a lot, Mickey D's, for reminding me that the last true joy I can remember was my 4th birthday party under the Golden Arches. But you know, if you think about it, really the joke is on them because kids are hard to please. I mean, have you noticed this? To please a kid at mealtime, you've got to give him some super sugared up color drink. You've got to give him 20 minutes on the playground, and then his meal better have a toy with it, or it's going to be war. Adults are really different, easy to please as far as all that goes. I mean, I'm planning to eat lunch in just a little while, and I'm really happy about it. I mean, I don't even know what I'm going to eat, and it doesn't even matter. I just get happy thinking about eating time. I'm happy right now because it's approaching. For adults, really the word meal is a synonym for the word happy. So Happy Meal literally translates to happy, happy. And for me, a meal is a happy time. So every meal is a happy meal. Except, I guess I should say, except for the ones where the kids are present. But other than that, every meal, but yeah, if the kids are there, it's funny, it's kind of an irony. If the kids are there, it's not always a happy meal. I mean, I love my kids. I would die for my kids, but I wish they would just kind of like go away when it's my happy meal time eating extravaganza. I mean, complaining, crying, sulking is all what I do every night after family mealtime. I mean, it is so tense. It is so difficult. I love my kids, but they can make it really hard to have my happy meal. So you might be wondering, why am I talking about all of this Happy Meal stuff? Well, it's actually McDonald's. McDonald's recently announced that they're doing a limited time Happy Meal for adults. And they're including those nostalgic toys from your childhood like Hamburglar, Grimace, Ronald, Birdie. I had to look Birdie up. I didn't remember that one. But Ronald, Grimace, and Hamburglar were totally my favorites. So this whole thing is meant to bring back a piece of that fun that we felt such a long time ago. So, great. I'm thinking like, that's wonderful. And I'm really excited about an adult Happy Meal. But if it really, really is a Happy Meal, what are they going to do with my kids while I eat? That's all I'm trying to figure out. Now, all the grumbling and the complaints aside, I'm not really being completely honest, because our family meal times are pretty great. Are they tense sometimes? Yes. Are they difficult sometimes? Obviously. Like, they can be really tough. But I recognize how important they are. And so we try to work hard to make them meaningful and even happy meals if we can. One of the things that I love that I tell everybody about is my daughter has invented what she calls childhood night. And so on Tuesdays and Thursdays, if we meet around the table, then she initiates childhood night. And the point of it is she and her siblings are to ask their parents, which is my wife and I, to talk about our childhood. And so we tell funny stories or poignant stories or silly stories. And it's just a time that is, I think, very meaningful. We also often take time to talk about their day and try to figure out if there's anything that they need advice on or if they need guidance on. But here is the big guideline in my mind. The guideline that I try to keep in my head about having a meal together that is meaningful. It's not about food, it's about family. That's important. It's not about whether they eat their food or whether they like their food or whether they interact with their food or even touch it. It's about family. We need that bonding time. We need that time together to help encourage one another as we work our way through this dark and difficult world. And even if my toddler is screeching so loud that he's peeling the paint off the ceiling, it is possible. By the power of God and the resurrection power of Jesus, it is possible for me to stay calm. I don't always do it, but I know it's possible. And I know that even through that tense challenge, we can make that time meaningful. We can talk, we can discuss, we can laugh, and it can be a valuable and important moment for our kids. Above all, we need to make the most of this time. We have such a slim sliver of moments with our children before we send them off into the world. We need to make use of every moment we can to prepare them for the world that they face, because it's a dark world and they need to be ready. You can think about what Paul said in Ephesians 5. He said, "Be very careful then how you live, not as unwise, but as wise." Now take note of this part. "Making the most of every opportunity, because the days are evil." We need to make the most of every opportunity, and that includes those moments with our kids. So a family meal is one of those moments that we need to make the most of. So I'd like to adjust that quote I gave you from McDonald's a little bit earlier, because it's important that we think about not just happy meals, but meaningful meals. One day, your kids will have their last family dinner with you, and they won't even know it. Make that time count. Aim for meaningful meals, and you'll be happy that you did. Thanks for watching. I'll be back with you soon.